Hey, this is Brent with Vintage Statements, and today, behind all my supervisors, we have an old Lineberry cart that we're going to take apart and rebuild into something pretty cool. So follow along. Alright, so our first step is going to be to take all of the hardware off. We've got a lot of pieces here. I'm going to flip it on its side, see if anything's rusty, see if we can break anything loose. Get all the hardware off, then we can start assessing the wood and what we're going to do with this piece. So let's get started. So now we got all the metal off, we've got to clean it up. We don't get all this rust in our face, so we're going to wear our mask and our glasses. We're going to use our wire wheel to knock off most of it, and then we can go back and get the small areas with our Dremel. So let's begin. Alright, we have it all torn down. We were going to make this into a kitchen island, but some of the hardware and the frame of this is going to make it too hard. The width is not wide enough and I can't expand it without getting a new metal rod through it. That's just too much work. But we have a cool new idea, which is going to turn this into a coffee table. So we're going to leave everything down here original. We're just going to wipe it down, wash it, power wash it, get all the dirt, all the crud off of it, get any loose paint, anything like that taken care of. We'll re-glue the frame. Then what we're going to do is take our posts, which will go kind of like that, and we'll cut them pretty low here and create a new coffee table top. So that's the only thing that'll be really modified, is cutting these and building a top for it. Everything else is going to stay the same. Keep this cool look to it. We'll see how it turns out. So let's begin wiping all these down. We'll let it bake in the Phoenix sun here, and then what we can do is start fitting this all back together, gluing it all nice and tight. We'll put the hardware on, we'll get these cut to length, and then we can start building the top. So basically we're working our way from the bottom up, just to make sure everything looks smooth, clean as we progress up it. So let's let the sun take care of this. Alright, it dried really quickly, so what we're going to start doing is we're going to glue our frame together, and then we're going to let that dry overnight. Then we can start working on our posts and our hardware on this. Now what we're going to do on these sides here is when we put these in straight, our Lineberry carts are designed to have a wobble. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop these pieces down about the width of this piece of wood here on each side on our sideboards here. That way it'll give us the distance down to get rid of that rattle or that shake in there, or at least most of it. So this has got a nice tongue and groove setup here. So we're just going to fill these with glue, squeeze it together, make sure it's all level, and then we can go from there. Okay, we have let it dry overnight so that that glue should be nice and tight in there. Nice complete seal here. So what we can start doing is putting our pieces together, all our metal back in. It's all been cleaned up. So we'll start with our ankle braces here, both sides. Then we'll start putting the middle legs in, then our side legs. So let's get started. Okay, we've got the hardware on. We've just got a post just sitting in here, not snug, but kind of gives us an idea of what's going to happen here. So what we're going to do is cut these down to, I think we're going to do 22 inches total. So we'll cut it 1.5 inches below that so we can build our top. Now just kind of give you an idea here. This is about the height of the top. So we'll have a little bit of a spacing in here, but not too much, but it'll give you access to see the wheels and all that good stuff. So that'll be our next step, is cutting these all the same length and starting to build the custom top. So let's get started by breaking these down. Alright, let's get you guys caught up on our progression of this piece here. I've been working on the top, so let's break down what we've completed here. So still got a little piece here that's gluing up, but let's take it over to the stands here for our next part, and I can kind of break down both sides of this piece here. Okay, so what we've got is 4 boards of common wood that we cut. These are what are these, 7.5 cut down. So we got our 2 pieces. We glued everything together, and then what we did is we created a vintage, shabby chic, just kind of an old farm style base or setup for underneath here. So it's meant to look a little bit shabby chic, or just kind of not thrown together, but kind of give it its own little unique character to it. So here's what we did for the underneath side. Is we just got our cross beams that hold everything together while we also glued in here. And then we created our frame all the way around it, and we cut in our notches so you can kind of see the wheels a little bit better. Kind of just a unique little touch. Maybe some people will like it, maybe not, but I like it. So here's where we're at now. Everything's glued, everything's good, except right down here we're just finalizing a glued piece here. We're going to flip this back over, and we're going to start damaging it. Give it some age, give it some look. So we'll start chiseling at it, we'll start hammering on it, we'll start, well, I'm going to put some screws through a piece of wood and slam it in here. We're going to try all kinds of different things on this one, because that base is so worn in and so unique. the top just doesn't match if it's brand new. So we want to give it some age. So let's have a little fun with it. So let's flip it back over. Let's get some tools and start just going to town on this. Alright, let's see what we can do. Got our glasses, got a couple different drill bits to create the old holes, maybe from where it was used in its previous life. Got a washer so we can beat that in around the holes that we create. We've got what we're going to use this for is we're going to lay it down and we're going to hammer it in so we can get some of this groove look into it. Old pipe here, just going to hit it a couple times, get some weird marks. We're going to create wormhole type marks. We got our old hammer and chisel, which is going to come in handy. And of course a pencil and a ruler, because we're going to measure out, get these marks where we want them for our holes so it looks aligned, not just random. Because old wood would have had a pattern, right? So we want to keep with that pattern. So let's start. Alright, that was fun. Now we gotta sand. But all we're trying to do here on the sand is even out any spots that we got maybe a little crazy on, or any raises from drilling. The little burrs come back up on it. We're just gonna sand those off, make it a nice top, leaving all the imperfections really in it, and then we can start sanding, or excuse me, staining this piece after we get it sanded. So let's begin. Alright, we have it all taken down, sanded out, ready for stain. So what we're going to use is our driftwood stain. Coat it once or twice, and then we'll go from there. Alright, we've let the stain dry. Now what we're going to do is we got a sample size of the green that matches the bottom. And we're going to just put one layer on, then we're going to put a layer of white on, and then we're going to scuff it off and get it as close as we can to that bottom match. And we'll see how it looks. So let's throw some paint on this. It is Arizona, so paint instantly dries. Sometimes that can be a nightmare, but today it is a benefit. So what we're going to do, we've got our DeWalt sander. Got some old sandpaper on here, and then what we're going to do is just kind of run over it, give it some texture, some look, try to knock off some of the white, some of the green, get down into some of the stain here. Do that around the edges here, and if we have to, apply some more white or apply some more green or more stain. So we just give it that mix, and we'll see what it looks like at the end. Alright, we have it sanded down. Now what we can do is wax it. So, got our wax, go over it real quick, and then we can start assembling this. Alright, here it is completed. Old Lineberry cart. We kept the old base, got rid of the top, cleaned it up, power washed it, smoothed it out, rebuilt it. Then we took the top and made it out of new wood. Sanded it, created it, sanded it, then we distressed it, gave it all the old vintage looks, painted it green, white, sanded it, again, waxed it, and then attached it. I think it came out pretty cool. Matches really nicely. So if you like this project and many of our others, subscribe to our channel, like us on Facebook and Instagram, maybe even leave us a comment, see what you think, and we'll get it posted for somebody to enjoy in their house, in their living room. Should be a nice coffee table for them.